Hey y'all, Greg the Video Game Nut here. I know that all of you guys have been waiting for a follow-up video to my last one, and if you haven't seen it yet, I'll leave it at the end of this video. Today, aside from playing Sonic Mania, I'll be discussing about what's been happening in my life, some opinions of what's been happening in the world, and why I'm back on YouTube. So, without further ado, let's get started, shall we? First things first, I do not expect to be out this long and make my channel dormant for 5 years, but I have been through quite a bit in just half a decade. Some weight gains and puberty aside, when I was still producing videos in 2015, I had found out that I had crater-like spots in my tonsils which led up to the formation of tonsil stones, as I got them removed during the summer of that year. I've also had some fillings here and there, and more recently, all of my wisdom teeth have been extracted. Recovery for all these surgeries have progressed very smoothly. I quit video production thanks to my time being occupied by school, a lack of resources, running out of good ideas, and overall disinterest at the time. YouTube has been making good technical advancements in recent years, and I have PC and PS4 internal capturing to go off of for game captures. That aside, news topics are also getting bigger and better. Friends aside, I get quite a bit of inspiration from other YouTubers such as the Angry Video Game Nerd, JonTron, and Scott the Woz, just to name a few. Every gaming YouTuber has had a prototype name, as TheVGN's was Angry Nintendo Nerd and JonTron's was Birdman CX6, with mine being Game Boy's Poop. Speaking of video games, let's recap the first half of 2020 and see what the rest of the year will bring out for the world and this channel. For the first half of this year, I've played through some great titles such as Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, Street Fighter V Champion Edition, Animal Crossing New Horizons, Persona 5 Royal, and Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated, just to name a few. I have several other significant titles, but those are just too much to list here. I've missed out on a few AAA titles such as the remake of Resident Evil 3 and Final Fantasy VII, but I'll eventually acquire those said games, as well as several others. The second half of this year is just as good, with titles such as Paper Mario The Origami King, the Tony Hawk remakes, Crash Bandicoot 4 It's About Time, Spider-Man Miles Morales, and much more. I've mentioned these four because they are all games I will likely get at launch. But what's my say on next gen now? While both pieces of hardware are impressive, I am leaning more towards the PlayStation 5. While it may have less power than the Xbox Series X, the PS5 is the more innovative console here, especially with its strong lineup of titles and its DualSense controller capabilities, as well as newly rumored backward compatibility. I don't dislike Xbox, but its controller is just an upgraded Xbox One gamepad, and the UI is just a copy and paste of the same one that you find on the Xbox One. We'll get more word about its first party lineup later this month. I'll see what I can report on with this event, as well as anything else I find interesting. I'm still much into retro gaming, as I have several mini consoles with classic titles, in which I have yet to own the TurboGrafx 16 Mini. I also have the Ninja Turtles Arcade 1-Up, in which I am anticipating future releases for the company, such as Marvel vs. Capcom and Ms. Pac-Man. I also heard about the Tiger Electronics reproductions that are beginning to hit GameStop stores, so maybe I'll do an unboxing review of that. Same thing can kind of go with Sega's Game Gear Micro and the Astro City Mini if we ever obtain those here in the West. With that said, let's go on to movies and more. As of now, I've only seen one movie this year, which was Sonic, as I had a blast with it. I enjoyed it enough that I got the Steelbook edition of the film on home video. I intended to see way more movies as of now, but there have been cancellations, delays, and straight to digital releases. Black Widow is legit the only other film I have interest in this year. I had some interest in watching Scoob, but the mediocre ratings turned me away, and Sponge on the Run got delayed for a digital release early next year, as it baffles me how they delayed a completely finished film out of theaters and onto streaming. I'm also aware of the casting changes for colored characters in Family Guy and The Simpsons, as I respect the voice actors for making their decisions to drop their specific roles. As well as with that, some anime such as One Piece and Boruto have had their production suspended but have returned on Japanese television. Next up, businesses with an extra side of world affairs. As for businesses, Microsoft has closed all of their physical retail locations worldwide, except for a select few. A lot of retail stores and indoor dining restaurants have plummeted in profits thanks to the actions of the virus. For example, Chuck E. Cheese's has filed for bankruptcy as they are already closing in several of their locations around the country. I still remember the heydays of the chain in the mid to late 2000s when the characters were voiced by the exact same voices you hear on Dragon Ball Z. That's not my point here. It's that many companies are losing their market shares. I had a Microsoft Store location nearby where I am, as I always used to hang out at it with friends, and now that aspect of our mall visits is no more. As many of us know, Kanye West has announced that he will be running for president, as he has even coined his own independent party as, I kid you not, the birthday party. I have nothing against Kanye, but in all honesty, this just feels like that he's promoting himself and his music to an extreme extent. If you want to promote yourself, don't do it through politics unless you know the bells and whistles of the specific field. I just have a few more things left to say in this next and final segment of the video, so let's go! First things first, thank you for watching. It might only seem like a few minutes, but this video took at least 3 days to make. All videos need a time and budget, so I hope I can keep this up for as long as I can. Both of my parents were born in an era where none of this was available for them. So, I want to bring out the best in the recent technologies that are impacting our world. I am on Instagram, which is private for the time being, just to filter out the right followers. It will be public very soon. On the other hand, my Twitter page is public, as I am active on both platforms. I also have a Twitch page and will start streaming there soon, so go follow that too. All my socials are also in the description and channel page for if you missed it here. Be sure to subscribe, like this video, and ring the bell if you want to see my newest videos first. I'm Greg the Video Game Nut, thanks again, and I'll see you guys next time!